This video is going to give you 5 CBT tools so that you can be more focused and more productive than 99% of people. We get bombarded at work with so many distractions. Something as basic as the pressures of a high demanding job or a chaotic work environment can destroy your work productivity and leave you feeling like you can't even get the minimum of tasks completed even though you want to. I'm Bethany, a licensed therapist for 22 years who's helped hundreds of people break free from ADHD, depression, trauma, and all kinds of issues. But here's the thing, you don't even have to have mental health issues to benefit from these CBT tools I'm about to show you today. Together, they snap your focus and productivity into the top 1%. These 5 CBT tools are evidence-based research techniques that take minutes to implement but create intense focus productivity. These are the same tools I've used to help hundreds of people go from feeling scattered to finally having control over their workday and their life. I often hear people say, I wish I'd known about these years ago. But let's just move the needle forward. Mastering these 5 tools, your brain will operate from a new set of tracking abilities. You'll be able to feel accomplished instead of dreading going to work. And you can finally say goodbye to task paralysis. I'm now going to dive in and demonstrate each of these tools so that you can move the needle forward and finish those lingering projects. Most to-do lists are long and overcomplicated, but this daily planner keeps it simple so that you can get those important tasks done. I'll walk you through an example. So this daily planner, you can use this at work or home, but for this example in the video, we're going to use it as if you're at work. So the very first thing you want to do is identify your top 3 priorities that you have to do for the day. So we're going to come up with some examples. Let's say you have one important thing you must get done is to review the department budget. So then you're going to put that on one of the top priorities, department budget. And then let's say they're waiting on you to approve a new marketing brochure. So then you're going to put marketing brochure. And then let's say you need to connect with the HR on the hiring process that you have going on. So you're going to call HR. So these are pieces that need to get done today. So you're going to look over your top 3 priorities and you're going to ask yourself which one of these takes either the most time or the most complex thought processing. And you're going to identify that one. And for this purpose, we're going to say reviewing the department budget. So that's the one that is going to take more time or more thought process. And so you want to do that priority in the morning. That's when the brain is able to think clearly and focus in. So you want to get that bigger task or project worked on in the morning. So then you're going to look at your morning schedule. And before you put these priorities in your schedule, you want to ask yourself, let's say it's Monday, right? You want to ask yourself on a Monday, what do you have? Any meetings? Anybody that is expecting you? And so you'd put your meeting in here. So let's say you have a department meeting at 1 o'clock, right? So you just put that in there. And then you also want to consider any colleague or person that tends to maybe swing by your office and chat with you. You actually want to put them on your schedule because you want to really focus on these tasks and you want to make sure you have time to do that. So let's say Bob or Susan stops by your office in the morning to talk for a little bit. So from 8 to 9, you have, Bob or Susan stopping by. So you just want to kind of just leave that alone. Okay. Make that your time, or maybe you just have a nice cup of coffee and just kind of relax before you have to get to work. Okay. So then your next opening, let's say your next opening is 9 a.m. That's where you would want to put the department budget in. You want to get your morning brain focused on the most time intensive or complex task. So you put it there. So now that you have the most important project or task that needs to be dealt with in the morning, you want to just spread out your other priorities in the afternoon or late morning. So you can put the marketing brochure, on right before you go to lunch. You can just kind of look at that. And then when you get back, after the department meeting, you can go ahead and connect with, HR. Does this happen to you when you go to do something complex? The mind turns on, interrupting you with a negative thought. Like, this will take all day to do, or I can't get this done, or I suck at budgeting. But wait, that's okay. We are going to fix that right now with the next tool, the Thought Audit. Ramsey designed the defense attorney Thought Audit. So you use this when your mind has a negative reaction to doing one of these top priority tasks. So for the purposes of this example, we're going to say that your mind is having a reaction to doing the department review budget. So what you're going to do is you're going to write the story down that your mind is saying about doing this task. So the story that you write down is what your mind is saying to you. So for this example, we'll say that your mind is saying, I get easily distracted by noises or people walking by. I'll lose where I am with the numbers. Besides, I didn't do so well at school in math. I won't be able to review this budget. So after you write the story, we're going to look at the facts, the truth around it. So that's what the defense attorney audit is. Your brain's prosecutor says, I'll mess up this budget. But the evidence, the facts, says let the defense speak. So after you've written the story down, now you're going to go and list the facts. This is like the truth. Okay, so let's just walk it through. So easily distracted. Well, the fact is you can shut the door. So you just write down, I can shut the door. And then another fact is you can use noise canceling headphones or background music to just blend out the other noises in the office. The other fact of this matter for this department budget is it's basic math. And you know that you can do basic math. So you just write that down. This is basic math. I can do it. So listing these facts, it works because it makes the story smaller and the facts louder, which helps your brain move. And that's important. So use the Thought Audit when your mind reacts to any task or project in a negative way. Write the story that your mind is telling you. Once you get that story written out, then you want to take a few minutes and list the facts, the truth about the situation. The facts work because it makes the story smaller and the facts louder. So then you can lean on the facts for all the support you need to get a project or task complete. So now that the more complex or hard task project is done in the morning and out of the way, you just have a couple of easy tasks or projects left to do. If you are a person that just would rather not even do the tasks, if you're like, I don't even want to just do these easy tasks, you'd rather just scroll on the phone, then this next tool is exactly what you need. It's called the inner clock, and it's a fun way to train your brain to get the easy stuff done and out of the way. So for this next CBT tool, the inner clock, you're going to treat it like a game. You're going to guess how long it will take you to do each of these top 3 priorities. So let's say you guess that reviewing the department budget is going to take 1 hour. So you guess 1 hour. And then, looking over the marketing brochure, you're going to be like, maybe 30 minutes. Might be less, 30 minutes. You're guessing, right? And so talking to the HR and having that conversation, let's say that takes 15 minutes. So you're guessing on your inner clock. And then the fun part is every time you go to do one of these tasks or projects, you just hit, you can use your own, clock or whatever. You just start the timer. And then when you're done, you just look at the time and put down the actual time here. So if the budget took longer than an hour, then you'll just be like putting that down, an hour and a half. If it took less than 30 minutes to do the marketing brochure, say it was 17 minutes. I mean, this is kind of what this whole process is you're looking at how close is your inner clock to the actual time it takes. If your inner clock is off, not a problem. You can retrain it in 1 week. Training your inner clock not only helps you plan better, It gives you a feeling of security knowing how long something will take. And this next CBT tool ties it all together like a beautiful symphony. With this tool, you don't have to remember. You simply get to be reminded. It's called the Prompted Workspace, and it's one of my favorite CBT tools. At the end of the workday, you simply remove all the stuff from your desk that you don't need, and you set it up to be just the things that you need to start your day right into these important tasks. Okay, so at the end of your workday, you're going to go ahead and you're just going to clear off anything that you don't need. Okay. And you're going to just have the essentials. So you're going to just want to print off a fresh daily planner. And I do have this linked in the video description, free for you to use and print up. And you just want to have that ready and handy for your next day. And anything essentials that you need, like notepads, pens, a timer, unless you want to use your, your Google Watch to time things, just your essentials. Then when you come to work the next day, you just have this prompted workspace that reminds you, okay, it's time to just organize the 3 top important tasks and dive into your work. If you find it's easy to use the daily planner and Prompted Workspace, then I invite you to check out one of my meditation workshops or challenges. Learning meditation to master your mind is next level advanced Jedi stuff. I'd love to see you there. You'll find the link to my website, soulheals.com, in the video description. Now, I know there will be a few of you watching this that will be thinking, there is no way I'm going to be able to do this daily planner. Heck, I'd be lucky to get through one of the tasks. So if this sounds like you, the final 5th CBT tool is just what you need. It's called the 2-minute start. Here's what you do. You set the timer for 2 minutes and you start the task just taking the tiniest small visible step. Maybe it's opening a file, grabbing a book that you're going to study, or going to the laundry to begin sorting the clothes into colors. You're basically just doing the smallest visible action for 2 minutes. You might think 2 minutes won't help, but it does get your brain going in the direction you need it to go. Starting small lowers fear and builds momentum. When the timer ends, you can stop or keep going. Most people simply keep going. Your nervous system needs to feel safe, and 2 minutes feels safe. With your brain in the right direction, you can just let momentum do the rest.